accounting wise, what do you see as the most common mistakes or pitfalls that small business owners make?
Well, accounting wise, I would say that, they're not keeping their financial records up to date. They're not distinguishing between their expenses for business, or they're waiting until, a week before it's time to file their tax return. And then they're rummaging through boxes of receipts and
it's terrible. But
that's what I see. I see that happening, or, they just have a poor setup from the start. There are so many different, even using Excel, even if you're just a small business, you don't have to have all of the bells and whistles of QuickBooks or SAS or whatever these programs are. There's so many of them. There's so many accounting programs. You don't even have to have them, but having them set up properly, identifying your expenses, building what we call a chart of accounts, what your business accounts are, whether they be income or expenses or equity or assets, having that chart of accounts built. A lot of clients, they're not even capturing everything. They're leaving money on the table because they waited and they haven't captured actual expenses. The other one I mentioned was the shareholder distributions. They think those are deductible and they're not deductible. They don't consult with a CPA in the beginning. So I like for them to come to me in the beginning so I could put them on the right path from the get-go, so I'm not cleaning up a mess. And from the tax perspective, I would say that the most important items, or the largest pitfalls I see, are they're not taking advantage of the Internal Revenue Code deductions. So they're not taking bonus depreciation. They're not using what we call cost segregation. They're not doing retirement funding to benefit. They're not doing what they have now as a qualified business income deduction. And these are all things that, a radio show is not going to cover in 1 hour. They have to see a qualified CPA that's going to explain these items to them. They miss disclosures on tax returns that can cause an audit, or they're just not up to date on tax law. They're business owners. They're not tax attorneys, and they're not CPAs.
The content on Mind in Your Business is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as specific legal advice. This show discusses general legal issues affecting business owners. Opinions of the guests are not necessarily that of the show. If you need assistance with your specific legal issue, please consult with a licensed attorney.